welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs. We are here today bringing you a hot, spicy speedrun marathon of all nothing but Castlevania games. Today we got everybody here who's important, and it's going to be just so nice. First up is we'll be doing Castlevania, the Adventure ReBirth. Got a little bit of the soundtrack going on the back for you. Steve's already got the game up here, so without too much fussing about, let's try and hop into it, huh?
Right, I think we're ready to go.
Excellent. Let me know when you're kicking it.
Alright, I'll go ahead and get it started. Alright, well good morning everybody. This is CastlesDoneQuick, I'm Mungo Meat, and this is Castlevania the Adventure ReBirth. This is a 2009 WiiWare title. Unfortunately it went kind of overlooked. It's a pretty straightforward speed game. It's a lot of careful movement to make sure you don't bump. And there's a lot of RNG in the game, unfortunately, with skeletons throwing bones and Medusa patterns and things like that. But hopefully the game will decide to be nice to me today, so we'll see what happens. The first level's pretty straightforward, not a whole lot of enemies, not a whole lot going on. Kind of a simple introductory level. There you'll notice I threw that sub-weapon to cancel my fall animation. Normally Christopher, if he falls from a certain height, will have a little crouching animation after it lands, and of course we want to avoid that. You can cancel that with the whip by whipping at a certain time in the air, but throwing a sub-weapon will guarantee that it's cancelled no matter what height you fall from. And here I'm grabbing a key. This game is actually a remake, sort of a pseudo reboot, I guess you could say, of the Game Boy game. Same title. So there are keys in this game that unlock secret gates. That is a pretty simple fight here. We're going to do hits there. 1, 2, and hopefully we'll get this without taking a hit. And we did, that's good. Coming up here, we'll be grabbing the stopwatch, do a quick time stop. This is the only time we use during the run. Oh. Then grab the axe. And we'll be coming into the first boss. Sometimes this guy can go a little crazy with his bouncing, but fortunately I got a pretty good pattern there, so... Oop. And missed a jump input, but that's fine. Okay, in stage 2 there's going to be a little bit more technical movement coming up, especially in a little cave section. Yeah, so as you can probably tell, a lot of this game is just trying to perfect your movement without stopping, so no bumping ledges, falling off of things like that. Okay, the cave can be a little difficult, so glad I got through it properly. It's also a little easy to accidentally crouch next to stairs instead of actually climbing on them. Okay, and up here we have a little auto-scroller that fortunately doesn't take too long. Not much to say about this. I do like to try to end each stage on a 0 heart count. Doesn't save a huge amount of time, but any little bit you can get counts, cool. So I try to always make sure I have an even amount of heart. Here's yet another auto-scroller with only 2 enemies you can kill right at the start, so again, not a lot happening. And here's his second boss. This guy can be a little more random. He can jump around or give you strange patterns however he wants, so hopefully this won't go too badly. Alright, that was actually not too bad of a fight. Okay, now we're coming up into stage 3. The difficulty goes up a little bit in this stage. It's still not too bad. Stage 5 is still really the decider in this. But there are a couple tricky things. Just throwing some axes to get past these climbing skeletons. Red skeleton letting bone there. Just happens, there's not a lot you can do to avoid it. Not too much you can do to speed up this room. You have to wait on these spear patterns to climb, and I really haven't discovered any way to skip any cycles, so pretty straightforward. Hey, and you may have noticed you get that little sound in the pause. I'm actually grabbing an orb there, which gives you the fire whip, as you can see, which does a little bit extra damage and gives you this little projectile. Axe throw there. Hey, a little early. It is possible to make that the sliding platform in one cycle, but it is kind of risky. If I miss it, I run the risk of dropping down and going on the wrong path, and I really don't want that to happen. It's sort of a soft lock for the speedrun. You basically would have to suicide to get back on the right path, so. Medusa nearly trolled me, but for missed. Wait here so I don't take a spear hit. Health is a little low, so hopefully I won't take a death before the boss. Killing it without the axe can be very slow if it gives you bad patterns. So. Go for me. This can be a little dicey depending on the pattern I get, hopefully. Nice. Okay. Grab some extra hearts here just in case he gives me a really bad pattern. Okay, not too bad. Right, and on to stage 4. The skeleton decided to be a bit of a jerk there, made me waste some time to stop and whip him, but That's how this game goes. There's a lot of randomness with these skeletons. This game does have a pretty bright color palette, just kind of by nature. Here we're going to try a little damage boost. Go. You kind of hit the back of the Spear Knight's spear there, and it boosts you up on top. There's a great pattern from the skeletons, but it can be a lot worse than that. One more Medusa, there it goes. And this is kind of a little maze-like area, which issue if you have it memorized. That was clear. Other key. And this game does have multiple routes, as you could probably guessed, and of course we take these short, which usually involves getting these secret keys if you're on stage with them. There's a tricky little jump here. A little bit slower. Grab another orb here to take out this poison plant coming up. Oh. Jump there. Web. Crosshair for the upcoming boss. Okay, this is a pretty straightforward boss. As long as I don't screw anything up too badly, we just wait for him to punch 3 times. Take out these little golems. Couple cross. Wait here again for him to start the pattern. If you get too close to him before he starts his punching animation, he'll just jump back up in the air, so you gotta wait back a little bit. Missed a few hits here, so hopefully this doesn't go into 4 cycles, but it might. And I got the final jump, but that's not too big of a time. Normally you can just get that straight up in 3 cycles and he won't give you that extra little jump. I missed it. Okay, and on to stage 5. This stage is definitely the big decider in this game. Everything does about 4 damage. So it can be kind of dicey if things start to go south. Okay. Too bad a pattern here. Hopefully I can jump. Room can be a little scary, these peeping eyes coming around you, but got through it. Of course, now we've got all these random little phantasms popping up, and they like to do things like that. Okay, we're just going to be hopping on some gears here. A little faster than taking the bottom route. Okay. Hey, I am going to grab the safety health here, just for the heck of it, just to be... Hopefully I won't lose from skeleton raining bones on me. I almost did. Oh dear. Okay, the health is going to be a little bit low coming into this area. I do have to take an attentional damage boost off this boss, and hopefully I don't screw it up so I won't have to take more. Wanted. Oh. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, losing all that in that clock tower climb really cost me. Let's be a little more careful coming through this area, and hopefully we won't have that happen again. Still took 2 hits here, but it's a lot closer to how this is intended to go. Okay, there we go. Bait him down here. Get out of the way and try to do a little damage boost here. Fortunately, having the axe does make this part a little bit easier. I can take out a couple of these skeletons and not have to worry about the bones coming down on me. Okay, and here we got another elevator auto-scroller. This one's a little more dangerous than the other ones, because you got a lot more going on, but still pretty... I can pause it for just a minute if you'd like me to go ahead and raise the game audio.
Yeah, if that's something you can do when you catch a free moment to do so, I can coordinate the timer as well.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Or I can just reset it. Great.
Okay, hopefully we got a little more volume now. Tell me how that sounds.
That's a little bit better.
Okay, I can bump it up a little more.
Like 2 or 3%.
Okay. Is that too high?
Nope, that'll do.
That'll do? Alright. Okay, sorry about that. Back to the
sorry
run.
about that, guys. Thanks for bearing with us.
Okay, now this room can be a little bit dangerous. Try to make this pendulum cycle, and we got it. Keeping eye out of the way. probably guess the hitboxes on these pendulums can be a little bit questionable, so I do need to be careful when I'm jumping on them. It's easy to accidentally hook on the edge and just kind of stutter and fall off. Okay, it is possible to get through this next room in a faster pendulum cycle, but there is a little bit of a risk of dying, and you do lose a lot of time if you do here, so I'm just going to wait it out. Poison plants can be a little trolly with the gas balls. Extra meat here. Okay, we're coming into the death fight, so the hard part really is over. Couple extra here. Well, unfortunately I got that troll sickle there and missed some extra hits. Careful here. Just about done. There we go. Okay, and we're on to Dracula. Okay, this is a pretty typical Dracula fight. Not a whole lot really unique except for maybe the final phase. We're going to start out with a standard kind of just Dracula throwing fireball stage, moving to a monster phase. And then to the final phase, which can be a little bit scary. It is kind of random and there's a lot happening. So I'll probably play it a little safe just so I don't take a death and go through it again.
As ever, the ally of worthless humans.
And here you want to try to get 3 hits per phase. We'll see how nice he decides to be. Okay, on. In.
Let me know when you're done.
Hit. Okay, we're into this phase and wait for it to start talk and start whipping. Girl spits some fireballs. He spits fireballs every 3 jumps. Okay, that was pretty good. Okay, and time will be coming up once I lose control and you see stage clear pop up. Jin takes 7 hits. I was able to get between the lightning. 2, 3. Hopefully I'll get a nice blue ball pattern here. Okay. Again. Blue balls. Couple hits left. Alright. Okay, time will be coming up here in just a second when I lose control. And time.
Alright. Well done, Mungo.
Alright, not too bad. 1 death. A little sketchy. I really should have avoided some of that extra damage in the clock tower climb, but other than that, not too bad.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, I sure appreciate y'all putting on this marathon and trying to get Comrade Control to AGDQ, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to do this run.
Thanks for coming out, Mungo. What was your final time if you were timing it on your own?
I actually wasn't. I didn't have my timer up.
Rip. Well, you have roughly 23:08, give or take a couple seconds.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Thanks for coming out for running for us.
All right,
Chat,
thanks, guys.
Please wish Mungo off. Thank you for the GGs.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys, and good luck to all the other runners.